My thought for conflict resolution would be how I work out my issues with my husband. I'm probably not your best person for that.
Resolving conflict requires loving confrontation. This is where you go toe to toe, face to face. We've identified the conflict. What is the issue? Now we get to examine it and go face to face. But before you do, you need to examine the offense. Determine if the offense requires confrontation. Because quite frankly, we can't hold our spouse hostage for every mistake they make. That'd be debilitating. Grace is part of a thriving marriage.
If I get frustrated with John, one of the things I do is to pray for him, because I cannot stay angry if I keep praying. It just goes away. God takes care of it, and that's a good thing. I occasionally do it into, if I get frustrated, I'll put it into cleaning or organizing or doing something else, and then it goes away. Or I go and call a friend who has something else going on, and I start thinking about them, and then it goes away. I know there's simplistic things to do, but it works.
Number 2, consider your contribution to the conflict. What role did I play? What pattern or habit of mine contributed to the conflict?
I used to throw my walls up and not let my wife into what I was thinking. I expected people to read my mind.
I think we're both very big harmonizers. I mean, we don't like conflict. We don't like to argue, that kind of stuff, but it makes you get to that point where you eventually do.
You may be a processor too. And your spouse may be very emotional, very impulsive, explosive. What pattern or habit contributed to the conflict?
I don't want to fight, but I have all this, it's all this rage and energy, and everything is just built up, and you want to unleash it. You don't want to unleash it on Amy. I don't want to unleash it on my kids, but you know what? Sometimes they're there, they say something, the wrong thing, and it's go time.
And then examine your heart. Number 3, examine your heart. Because at the core, conflict resolution is a heart issue. Are you trying to retaliate or restore? Punish or pursue peace? Because here's where it really starts, getting real. Because you hurt me so many times, I want to hurt you back. Or we think, man, if only my spouse would feel the same way I did. Maybe something magical and mystical will happen. And they'll go, man, if I hurt you that bad, I am really sorry. So we want them to feel. In our attempts to have our spouse be empathetic, the reality is when we do that, we just turn out to be pathetic.
My first reaction is to be very defensive and to always figure out what he's doing wrong in the situation. And then finally, maybe down the road, I will sit down and listen. But at that point, so many times I have made him mad because I'm not listening to his side or looking at his perspective. So then it doesn't really matter if I want to talk out anything at that point, because he's pretty much done with the conversation.
Burn this in your memory. Your mate is not your enemy. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places.
It is so much easier for me to look at my spouse and say, if you had just done this different, this wouldn't have happened. Or if you would just do this, or if you would just be a little more thoughtful and just take him away for an hour because I'm tired and I don't really care that you've worked all day. I need a break, and why can't you see that? Why should I have to say that? Just little things that constantly go through your head that's that's just the enemy trying to get you to cause more conflict when you have I have plenty of conflict in my life.
Matter of fact, I want you to turn to your spouse right now and just go, you're not the enemy. You're on the same team.
He's my best friend. Drew is, sometimes I wonder, why do we stay together? And it's because we still love each other. He's still my best friend. There's just something there that will always be there, and I feel so blessed to have that.